Hi, and welcome to Tender Talks. This is a space where we're going to slow down and talk about the tender parts of being human. Today we're talking about grief and chronic illness. What makes chronic illness grief different than other grief? This grief is about your body changing in ways that you might not be prepared for. This can come as a result of injury, age, pretty much anything. Some people will wake up one day and realize that they have a bunch of gray hair and it scares them. And then they have to grieve that they're aging. It's unique. You also have to grieve your life changing. Accepting that your life is going to look different than you'd hoped it's not as easy as it sounds. Another thing that you're going to grieve is your expectations. Learning to expect new things from yourself is going to take patience and compassion. Getting that compassion in the moment of grief is what's really hard, but it's what is ultimately going to soothe that grief. Okay, so here's what most people don't tell you. You will grieve the things you used to do. You will grieve your independence. You're going to grieve your energy. You're going to grieve your identity. Grief is going to show up even on the good days. Identity loss is very common with chronic illness grief because you're not going to feel like the same person. You might even lose some of your roles or hobbies that you used to have. This occasionally will lead people to feel very disconnected from themselves, and finding meaning in life is going to feel like a challenge. Some symptoms of grief is like a weight in your chest, maybe a lump in your throat, feeling numb, maybe even some anger, jealousy, and confusion. Those are all normal signs that you are actively coping with your new reality. That is the healing journey itself. The grief is a huge part of the healing journey and actually feeling it through. Confusion is a huge part of chronic illness grief because you will experience bad days with your chronic illness and you will experience good days with your chronic illness. And when you're in the moment, it can be very hard to remember what it felt like before. So when you're feeling good, it can be hard to remember what it felt like to feel bad. And then when you feel bad, it can be hard to remember what it felt like to be good. So it can get very confusing and lead you to question reality a lot, and that's okay. Okay, so the moment hits. You have to cancel. You can't do something that you were once able to do. Or you realize the limits that you have are ongoing. Let me give you an example. All growing up, I wanted to get my black belt. I always wanted to train in some type of martial art and master it. My body is not capable of doing that right now. I don't know if it ever will, but right now, it can't. So I experienced a lot of days of grieving what my body could no longer do. One day, yoga teacher training crossed my mind, and I considered that to be a decent option. Although it wouldn't take as long as, say, a black belt, it was still finding ways to challenge and improve my body. But in this way, it was helping my body heal, and my body could handle it. So I was able to find meaning in something else, but that doesn't mean I didn't grieve. And that doesn't mean I wasn't grieving while I was achieving something else. You don't have to finish grieving in order to achieve something else. So don't rush the sensation of grief. Sitting with the grief is like sitting with a rainstorm. You can distract yourself if you would like. But you can also sit with it and experience the sensation of rain instead of sun. Okay, so how do we actually cope with grief? While you are experiencing the grieving sensations, curiosity, anger, grief, jealousy, any of it, I want you to self-soothe in a way that's very subtle, where you can either put some pressure on your chest and hold yourself for a minute, letting yourself know that, hey, if no one's got my back in this moment, I do. And as cheesy as that sounds, I need it. You can also allow yourself to simply soften and do a simple body scan. One of my favorite body scans is to Relax your shoulders. So I usually roll my shoulders up, back, and down. I take a deep breath in, an even longer exhale out. And then I make sure that my jaw feels soft. And you can even allow your eyes to soften their gaze, or even close your eyes for a minute. Sometimes it's nice to take 3 full cleansing breaths where you are not worried about anything. You say to yourself, I'm safe in this exact moment. I can take 3 full long breaths and still be safe. Your body needs that more than your mind does. So let's talk about the good moments. Sometimes we feel guilty when we feel good because of all the times we felt bad. So suddenly we feel good and we're able to go on that walk. We're able to do that laundry, do those dishes. But in our bad moments, we really aren't able to. And it's hard to remember that in the moment. So the guilt that will come up in the moment when you are feeling good is a form of grief. That is you actively adjusting to your new reality. You are seeing the polarity of how you feel and trying to find a happy medium. And that is so exhausting and taxing. So give yourself some space, you deserve it. Okay, let's talk about meaning. Your life didn't end. Don't let it end. Life changed. It went from, oh, I want a black belt, that sounds cool, to, well, why would I want a black belt? And I was like, oh, well, the value behind that is I wanted to do something to improve my body, to still challenge my body's abilities. And then I was like, okay, what are ways I can do that now within my body's abilities? And that's where yoga fell in. My meaning didn't change. My life changed. The shape of it changed. The meaning is still there. What does change shape mean? We're talking, I might slow down. I might do less things in my day. Break down my goals into smaller things. Maybe I will come up with a new meaning in my life. That's okay too. Also, new routines. I heavily recommend new routines because the more you can build a routine that helps you sustain yourself and sustain that energy, the more you will be able to dive into the things you really want to do. So, to end, grief is so human. Grief around your body and your mind and their abilities is so real. It's so normal. You never imagined your life wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. We just need to shape your life around your new reality. But it can still hold so much meaning. I hope you like this. Let me know if there's topics you'd like me to cover. Please put them in the comments below. Like and subscribe to my channel if you're able to, or if you would like.